Have you ever really thought about what's down there, in the deepest, darkest, most alien parts of our own planet? Well, lately, some of the ancient creatures from that abyss have started showing up in the shallows. And they're not just visiting. They look distressed. Some are even dying. It's happening all over the world, and it's making a lot of people ask a pretty terrifying question.
So, are these creatures trying to tell us something? Are they a warning that the end is nigh? I know, it sounds like the plot of a disaster movie, but this theory has absolutely taken off online. The idea is that these animals, tuned into the planet in ways we can't even imagine, are sensing a catastrophe coming, and they're trying to warn us. So let's really dig into this. Is there any truth to the legend of the doomsday fish?
You know, the most powerful piece of evidence, the story that really gives you chills, comes from Japan. In the months leading up to March of 2011, these massive serpent-like oarfish started appearing. And then, on March 11th, it happened. A catastrophic 9.1 magnitude earthquake, the biggest in Japan's history, which triggered that horrifying tsunami. It's no wonder that for many in Japan, the oarfish became a legend, a true doomsday fish.
And it feels like the pattern just keeps repeating, right? An oarfish shows up in California and boom, the state gets hit with its largest earthquake in decades. Similar sightings happen in the Philippines right before a major quake. Then you see these other strange events, thousands of fish beaching themselves in India, what people called a suicide mission, a whole pod of over 150 dolphins getting stranded in Australia. When you look at it all together, it really does seem like the pieces of some terrifying global puzzle are clicking into place. But to solve it, we need to go deeper, a lot deeper. To get our answer, we have to go all the way back to the very beginning of life itself. Because here's the thing you might not know. Life on Earth didn't start in some warm, sunny pond. No, it began in the crushing, pitch-black abyss of the deep sea.
This right here, this is the cradle of life. They're called hydrothermal vents. Basically, they're cracks in the ocean floor that are just blasting out the superheated, mineral-packed water straight from the Earth's core. And when I say superheated, I mean it. We're talking 400 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. It's an insane environment, but this is where the story of every living thing, including us, actually begins.
So if you want to cook up life from scratch, you really only need 3 basic ingredients. First, you need water. Check. The early Earth was covered in it. Second, you need the right chemicals, the building blocks. Well, these vents were spewing them out 24/7. And finally, you need an energy source. The twist is, down here there's no sunlight. So that energy came from the raw volcanic heat of our planet's molten core. So from these dark, deep beginnings, life eventually worked its way up into the sunlight. And that's what sparked the Cambrian explosion, this just wild frenzy of evolution in the surface waters. But pretty soon, the shallows became a total war zone. The competition was brutal. And so, facing all this new pressure, a whole lot of creatures were forced to retreat right back down into the hostile darkness where it all started. And this is where things get really, really weird. To survive in the deep sea, life couldn't just make a few tweaks. It had to get wildly creative. It's like nature started running its most dangerous and spectacular experiments, creating creatures that look like they're literally from another planet. First, let's just try to wrap our heads around the pressure. Go just 1 kilometer down. The force pressing on you is the same as having 20 full-grown elephants standing on your head. For a human, you'd be crushed instantly. Your lungs would just implode in a fraction of a second. Okay, now let's go all the way to the deepest part of any ocean, the Mariana Trench, 11 kilometers straight down. Down there, the pressure is like taking the entire Eiffel Tower and balancing its full weight on your big toe. So the question is, how on earth does anything survive that?
Well, life developed an incredible survival toolkit. A lot of creatures just evolved to be soft, gelatinous bodies, made of mostly water, which means you can't really compress them. Others have flexible armor that bends instead of shattering. To deal with the absolute darkness? No problem. They just make their own light. It's called bioluminescence. Some grew to be giants, that's deep-sea gigantism, to store up energy for the long waits between meals. And they developed weapons and defenses that are just mind-blowing. We're talking transparent heads, detachable limbs, even armor made out of iron.
I mean, just take the anglerfish. Finding a mate in that vast blackness is almost impossible. So when a tiny little male finally finds a female, he bites her and never lets go. His body literally fuses with hers, dissolving away until all that's left of him are his testes, which become a permanent built-in sperm factory for the female. It is one of evolution's most extreme and
Frankly, one of its weirdest solutions ever.
Okay, so there's no question these creatures are incredible masters of survival, perfectly tuned to their environment. But does that finely tuned sensitivity mean they can detect earthquakes before our best equipment can? Let's use what we know now to finally solve this myth.
Let's just break it all down. Myth versus reality. The myth says oarfish predict earthquakes. The scientific reality? Researchers have looked for a link and there is absolutely no correlation. The fish suicide in Kerala? Turns out it's a predictable annual event caused by currents stirring up nutrients. The stranded dolphins in Australia? The pod's leader likely just got disoriented by the coastline's confusing geography, and the others tragically followed. And those turtles in Odisha? That wasn't a sign of doom, it was a sign of incredible hope, a mass nesting event for an endangered species that hadn't been seen there in 33 years. So here's the most important point. When scientists actually sit down and study the data, the whole connection just vanishes. A huge study in 2019, published in Marine Biodiversity Records, looked for any possible link between deep-sea fish appearances and earthquakes. Their conclusion was totally definitive. They found none. Zero. So what's the real culprit here? It's not some mysterious power the fish have. It's our own brains. We are hardwired to find patterns, to connect dots. And when you amplify that with social media and news that loves a scary story, you get a perfect storm. We take a few dramatic but completely unrelated events, draw lines between them, and cook up a terrifying narrative. It's a great story, but that's all it is, a story.
Okay, so the doomsday fish is a myth, but, and this is the most important part, that does not mean there isn't a real warning coming from the deep. There is. We were just getting the message wrong. The warning isn't coming from the creatures. The warning is the creatures, and the world they are now desperately struggling to survive in.
The real danger is what we are doing to their world. Climate change is creating these huge, low-oxygen dead zones. Our microplastics have been found inside the bodies of organisms from the very bottom of the ocean. Our industrial-scale overfishing is collapsing the entire marine food chain from the top down. And we are poisoning the very cradle of life with chemical dumping, oil leaks, and now, deep-sea mining. This is the real catastrophe. The warning isn't about a sudden earthquake. It's about a slow, silent, man-made extinction event that we are causing right now.
The deep sea gave birth to us all. It taught life how to survive against absolutely impossible odds. These creatures aren't omens of doom. They are a reflection of what we're doing to our planet. They remind us that the ocean's heartbeat is our own, and if we silence it, we silence ourselves. The sources we looked at for this leave us with a pretty profound thought. Nature demands humility, because in the end, survival has never been about dominance. It's always been about adaptation. And the real question is, can we adapt our behavior before it's too late?